Okay, so that's just a taste. We're gonna get into more of this right now. So as you guys can tell, I've got a tremolo on, so that's what that is. It's like turning the volume of the guitar on and off really, really quickly. Just that really cool vibey tune. I'll get into the pedal I'm using in a bit, but that's the sound I'm getting. If you don't have one of these, totally okay, you can do this clean too. All right, so the beginning of this song, okay, obviously it builds, there's a lot of piano stuff happening in keys that is just so tasty, awesome. The guitar playing on here is equally tasteful, melodic, and wonderful, so we're gonna get into that now. At the top of the verse, we've got very simple guitar lines here. Stuff like this. Again, we're taking stuff out from E minor pentatonic, all of that good stuff, okay? So here's how we're gonna do that first line. How are we gonna do that? First finger, okay? Second fret of the D string. D is in dog. That's your E, okay? And you're gonna hit that twice. Remember the alternate picking stuff I was talking about last week? Hitting the top and the bottom of the string? I want you to do it like that. Top, bottom, top. Open D string, then go back on that second fret. Okay? Just like that. Let's do that a few times here. And again, nice, relaxed, but concise right hand. Just like that. One more time. Okay? So there's that bit there. Now, before we continue, folks, let me know where you're tuning in from and let me know your dream electric guitar. So let me know where you're tuning in from and dream electric guitar, folks. Thanks again for tuning in. Here's the next bit of the song. So, part one. Okay. So now this part, we're just adding a few more notes. Again, we're adding on to this theme of that E minor scale that we're playing, okay? And again, you totally use your first finger, no problem here. Again, E, located on the second fret of the D string. D back to E. Now, second fret of that A string, which is your B. B is in boy. And now open A string. Just like that, okay? So let's do that a few times here. Just like that, folks. Just like that. Now, let's combine parts 1 and 2. That's part 1, part 2. Combining parts 1 and 2 again. Okay, not too bad, right? Not too bad. We're staying in that pentatonic. That's part 3. How do we play this? We've now gravitated upwards towards the A string. Now we're going to hit that 3 times. Again, the alternate picking with the right hand. That's what I want you doing here. For those 3 notes, top, bottom, top of the string. Just like that. One more time. Now incorporate that C, 3rd fret, A string. Just like that. So let's go ahead and do that a few times here. Okay, so now let's go ahead and go back to those 3 parts. Let's play them in order, then we're just going to keep adding on. So here we go. One more time. Part 2. Part 3. And then you're just going to hit, for part 4, your E string. So, could you do an E minor there too? Sure, if you want. Totally cool. But if you just want to do the note, go ahead and do that too, okay? So there you have it. Okay, so now what we've got here for this next part, again, staying in this pentatonic of E minor, this is great. So here's the next part, part 5. Okay, so here's how we're going to play that. First finger, 2nd fret of the D string, then release, D. So E, D, now 2nd fret of the A string, B to A, open A string. All right, with your 2nd finger, place it on the 3rd fret of the E string. This is our G note, and then open E. So there we go. I'm going to play that again, nice and slow. And now what we do here is then we just add this A located on the 5th fret of the E string. Okay. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to play it a few times, nice and slow. Follow along if you can. I'm getting a lot of really nice comments about the tone of this guitar. Thanks so much. Here's what's great. Let's talk about these Fluence pickups. These are the Strat single width Fluence pickups. Folks, I love these things. I love them. I love them. The vintage sound that these have, I mean, it just totally encapsulates the vibe, particularly of a song like this. And just the variation of it too. So say like I'm a second, I like 2nd position on the Strat, but notice the variation of tone even if I move it to 3 or 4 or even to the 5th. We can really hear those shifts in tone. It's so great. And I'm only on voicing 1. So these are great set of pickups. I love these. So again, thanks for all the love on the tone, folks. Be sure to check out the Fluence pickups. They rock. They're great. Okay, so let's go ahead and go over these 5 parts. Here we go. I'm gonna take it slow. And again, if you guys don't have a tremolo pedal, all good. If you guys don't have an electric guitar, all good. Play with the guitar you have. Play with the guitar you have and enjoy it. And again, this song is all about vibe and encapsulating the awesome vibe of this. So follow along. Let's have some fun. Here we go. Here's the first part of that intro so far. Let that breathe. Part 5. Okay, pretty good, right? So now we go on to this next part, this part 6 of that first verse of the tune. It's going to be a C major 7 chord. Don't worry. It's a beautiful, beautiful chord, one of my favorites. I love a major 7 chord. 1, 3, 5, 7, those of you following along in terms of music theory on how to build them. So, for those of you more beginners, if you know your C chord, just lift up your first finger. We want to play that B note. That's what makes it a major 7, okay? So we're just gonna strum that like that. Yeah. Let it ring, see? And it just keeps going. And then after that, just hit a little bit of the E minor. Don't play the whole thing, just a little. Yeah, like that. All right, it's good stuff, folks. Let's go ahead and play the whole thing. Someone is asking, sounds like an old Vibrolux. Thank you. What I've got here, this is a beautiful, I love these amps. It's a Fender Blues Junior. It's a 3, Fender Blues Junior 3. I love a good tube amp, so that's what I've got there. It's a great amp. It's little, but man, does it pack a punch. So let's go ahead and go through the entire bit of the verse. C major 7, E minor. Or if you want to strum the whole E minor, you can do that too. Whatever you're feeling, let the music speak to you. So there you go. I'm going to do it one more time. I'm going to leave it open to a few more questions, and then we're going to get on to the next figure in the tune, okay? So here we go one more time. I'm going to do it a little bit faster. Okay, so that's what's happening there. Those of you who have any questions, let's go ahead and get to a few of them now. Thanks so much for all the love and tuning in wherever you are. Those of you just tuning in, let me know where you're tuning in from in your dream electric guitar. Okay, someone is asking, how old is this Strat? This is a 1998 American Deluxe Strat. I love it. It's got the mother of pearl inlays. I don't know if you can kind of see it. If I like wiggle it, you can see how they sparkle a bit. It's really cool. Equipped in the Strat itself are the Fluence, the Fishman Fluence single width Strat style pickups. I love these. I've also got the charger in the back. It's just like charging a phone, folks. If you charge, so you charge these pickups, it lasts for a really long, I can maybe for the years I've had this Strat, I can count on like one hand how many times I've had to charge it. This thing just rocks. The tone is great. I have played this live a bunch of times, and man, they're just, I love these pickups a lot. Those of you who are fans of that really cool vintagey Strat sound, check these out. They rock. I love them. Someone was asking about the pedals that I am using today. I am only using 2. So what I've got is I'm going through a Strymon El Capistan tape delay. Yes. Love I love that. It's a great pedal. So I love tape delays. Again, I'm a big fan of like vintagey type sounds. That's what I've got going for delay. And then as far as my tremolo, what I'm using there is the Analog Man TR2 Super Trem Mod. I love that pedal. Again, vintagey, awesome tremolo tones. So that's what I've got going on there. You guys just heard me talk about the Blues Junior that I'm going through. It is being mic'd by an SM57. All right, so good stuff. Thanks for those questions, folks. All right. Can you transcribe the opening keyboard solo to guitar? I bet it is a workout to play that on guitar. I bet that's fun. I love the keys on this song. I think it's great. All right, folks. Well, thanks again for the questions. This is great. Again, I do questions a lot throughout this lesson, and I'd like to answer your questions live. So if I don't get to them right away, keep writing them in the chat, and I'm going to get to as many as I can with the time that we have. And again, thank you all so much for tuning in. This is like such a fun way to spend a Saturday with you all, and teaching some of my favorite tunes. And yeah, be sure to subscribe to all of our socials. You can subscribe to me, Angela Petrilli Music, on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and all that good stuff. And be sure to follow the folks at Fishman for all the goodness that's coming out of all the social medias and all the really, really great gear that those folks are thinking up and giving, you know, us guitar players to play with and explore our sound. So be sure to go ahead and do that. All right, folks. Well, let's go ahead and go to this next part. Now, we're going to be playing, the same chords are happening, but what we're doing on guitar is going to be a little bit different. We're just adding new little notes. And again, we're just adding on and continuing on to that vibe. So here's what's happening in this next part. Instead of going, we're not doing that anymore. We're doing this. Okay. Robbie Krieger, man, like how great is he? Again, just the less is more and how this so elevates the song. Continue to think that when you are playing this and you are learning this. Encapsulate the vibe. Less is more here. Here's how we do it. So, first finger, that's the one that's going to be playing the first note that we press on the fretboard of the guitar. Now, open B string and open G string. Okay? Now we're going to go back to that B string. It's going to sound like this. And again, keep in mind, alternate picking with that right hand, okay? It's going to make this a lot easier. First finger now goes on the second fret of the B string, C sharp, everybody, okay? All right, so that's it there. Now we're going to hit that G string again. And that B string again, but keep holding down that C sharp, okay? So let's do that again. I'm going to do it nice and slow. Hear that really cool dissonance that's happening? Yeah, that's vibe, okay? So here we go. I'm going to do that a few more times. Again, I'm going to build up in speed, okay? So here we go. I'm adding this second note there. I'll get to that in a minute. Here we go again. One more time. Now your second finger, we're going to play the D note located on the third fret of the B string, B as in boy. Okay, so here's the riff. And then we go backwards to that C sharp. Again, plucking the B string as well as the G string. I'm going to do this a few times, nice and slow, so you guys can get the hang of it. I see so Tom, to play it authentic, you have to use your fingers, no pick. This is true, Robbie Krieger didn't use a pick. So, if you want to try it without a pick, go for it. I'm using a pick today because I like playing this with a pick. Here we go. So that's the line that's playing over that verse, okay? Instead of us holding an E minor chord or doing, we're doing this walking up cool dissonant line. Now, here's some things that you can do. You can play it straight, like we did there, where all of the notes are played singularly, right? What you can also do is this. If you listen back to a lot of live versions of this song, or even on the track that's on the record, you can see that sometimes he'll slur those notes, and this is something that I like to do. Again, and this is all my interpretation of this tune too, I like to slur some of those notes a little bit just to keep things interesting, a little bit different when you're playing this, okay? So here's what I mean by that. I'll play it for you first and we'll talk about it. See, I'm sliding forward from that C sharp to D and then sliding backwards from that D to C sharp. And only using my first finger. Watch again. So what you can do is you can interchange some of these. Maybe perhaps one way you can go ahead and play it a bit straighter, and then other ways kind of slur those notes and slide them. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to play the different versions and intertwine the version that's straighter played and the one that has those slurs and slides. So here we go. So see what I mean? So you can go ahead, interchange these. It's really cool. It keeps things interesting and open. Someone is asking chordally, theory-wise, what's happening here. So I was just going to get into this, so this is great. You can also choose to do it this way. When I play this, sometimes I'll use this as a third option. If I want to fill the space a little bit more, I'll play this E minor chord. But this movement, I'm not doing with my first finger, I'm doing it with my pinky. So watch here. When I do it this way, I do a bit of hybrid picking when I do this. So what do I mean by hybrid picking? I'm picking notes with the pick as well as my fingers here. You can notice a difference in tone. It's cool because the sound of flesh, so right, your fingertips, and the sound of a pick are going to sound a little bit different on the string. So again, I want you to explore this. This song is really, again, all about vibe and experimentation with the tone, seeing what sounds good to you too, and saying like, oh, I kind of like that E minor here, that sounds great, or along with the riff, right? Or you can just play it regular. Again, I leave that up to you guys. I'm just here to teach you how to play this. So again, have fun with that. Now, let's go ahead and go on to this next part. Super, super fun part, really tasty. So let's get into how we play that. So first finger, you're going to put that on the 5th fret of the B string, B as in boy. That's E. Now, sometimes I'll play it like this. And again, this is my interpretation of this tune. Other times, I like to play it where I put my first finger across the 5th fret of the E string as well. So I have E and A being played together. Like that. So you can choose to do that or just play the E. Totally cool. Okay, so now slide that up. Whole step, 7th fret, you're playing B and you're playing F sharp. And press that down using your first finger. Again, you can kind of sort of see it here. See this thumb? Nice little pinch right there. We don't want our thumb up too high. I want you to have a nice good grip on that. I want to keep, again, we want to make sure we do nice, good, thoughtful, intentional movements when we are playing. You know, us guitar players, we don't want to get carpal tunnel, folks. So be mindful of that. Be mindful of the physicality of playing as well, okay? So let's go ahead and do that one more time. So that F sharp and that B there on that 7th fret. Let's do that again. This time I'm going to include the A. A few more times here. Now, what's happening here? I am also hybrid picking this, using my pick to play the B string and my middle finger here plucking upwards on that E string. If you want to just use a pick, it's fine. Notice how it sounds a little different. A little more like stabby, right? Perhaps a little more trebly. That's cool. If you like that, great. I like a little bit of a rounded sound, which is why I choose to do the hybrid picking on this. Now slide this up to the 8th fret, C and G. And then we do this. Ooh, yeah, what's happening there? Let's see. Folks, it's 3 notes we're playing all together, so it must be a chord. I'll tell you where the fingers are, and we'll see who figures out what chord it is first, or I'll just tell you guys. Here what we're gonna do. First finger, 10th fret of the 10th fret of the E string, which is D. Your 3rd finger, 12th fret of the B string, so that's B. And then your 2nd finger, 11th fret of the G string, F sharp. Just like that. Really cool chord. We may have also heard it like this. Or we've also heard it this way. That's a B minor we're playing. But a really cool way to play B minor. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do now. All right, so let's see. Let's do that again. I like to just strum it once. You could strum it more. You could strum it twice. Hybrid pick that as well, or if you choose to strum it, totally cool. Do that too. Okay? Let's go ahead and do this a few times. Again, be mindful of the fingers you are using here. I don't want you tripping over your fingers. We want really, really good technique. And just as I say all the time in these lessons, you cannot play anything fast, you can't play slow. So let's be really intentional on how we're doing this. Okay? So again, I'm going to do it slow and then I'll build it up. Yeah. Let's do it a little faster. And then we go right back to that riff. If you guys want to do maybe the level 2, the kind that I like to do with the chord, and then do the riff with your pinky finger, you can do that too. So like this. Let's do that right to where my finger wants to work. Let's do that again. Now let's go ahead and do the walk up again, and I'll give you both versions of how to do the C sharp to D line. Okay, so here we go. Now, with just the basic, the level 1, the one that's being played on the record. Here we go. Cool stuff, right? Cool stuff. So that is that part. Now, when we get to the chords at the end of it, it's going to be a D major, regular position, 1 strum, C major, great, and E minor. Okay, again, not too bad, right? This is fun, especially, oh, if you have a good delay and tremolo and a really awesome tube amp with some great pickups, like this just, oh, it just sings. Oh, it's so good. Okay, here we go. Let's go through that bit one more time. C. Okay, so notice how with that C, I kind of arpeggiated it a little bit. And then went to that E minor, okay? So here is, let's just do the whole thing so far. I see there are a ton of questions here. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. I'm gonna get to as many of these as I can. So here we go, from the top. C major 7, E minor. Now the riff, the C sharp D riff, here we go. C, E minor. Yeah. So that's a big chunk of the song right there, because this, we see that in the verses a lot. This continues, especially this walk up. We see that a lot too. So through this bit, we've learned a ton of the song. So again, I've left this moment here for those of you who have live questions right now. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. This is Angela Petrilli with the Riff Rundown with the awesome folks at Fishman. Today, I'm teaching you guys how to play Riders on the Storm by the Doors on my awesome Fishman Fluence loaded American Deluxe Stratocaster today. Happy Straturday, everybody. All right, so let's see. Someone is asking, could you use a whammy or a whammy bar on this? Yeah, absolutely. Sure, that would sound great. So someone is asking, delay and tremolo. Yes, delay and tremolo. What I've got as far as delay, it's the Strymon El Capistan tape delay. For the trem, it is the Analog Man Super Trem TR2, the mod he does on the Boss TR2s. Man, does this tremolo rock. I love that pedal. I've told Mike a million times, but it's just such a great pedal. Again, it really encapsulates that really, really awesome vintage tone. So that's what I'm using here. That is my go-to tremolo pedal. I love it. Check out Analog Man. He's great. Great stuff. Great stuff. Again, yeah, I've got folks asking about online lessons. Yes, I do teach one-on-one lessons. I currently have a waiting list right now, but if you go to my website, angelapetrillimusic.com/booking, we can get you in line for that. And would love to help you learn how to play, folks. This has been so much fun. I just love this song. Again, it's one of my favorites to play with my band, and it's just a blast. I love playing this song. So let's get to the solo, because how great is the solo in this song? So we're gonna go ahead and do that right now. Keep all of the same effects. We're gonna keep using them. You don't need to do anything else. So we're gonna go ahead and do that here, and let's get to it. Okay. We're gonna see a lot of the same nuances from stuff that we saw at the top of that first verse. We're gonna see some things that are a little bit different, and then of course this is my interpretation of this solo too. I stay pretty true to it, but there's like one little thing I do like to change. I think it's just, I have to always impart some sort of my playing in every song I play. I love this song. The way that I like to look at it is I'm just tipping the hat to Robbie and just all the really, really great stuff he has given to us guitar players. And if you're not familiar with his work he did with the Doors, go and really delve deep, because man, is he's great. Just a great, great player. Okay, so let's go ahead and have a look at this. I'm gonna play the solo, then we're gonna go ahead and break it down like we always do, folks. And again, if you have questions, I'm gonna get to as many as I can. So here we go. Let me do that again. One more time. Okay, we're gonna break it down. We're gonna break it down. Thanks for hanging with me as I found my place in the tune. So here we go. Let's just break it down from there. First finger, 2nd fret D string, open G string, back to that E, 2nd fret D string. Just like that. And again, alternate picking. Here we go. Let's do that a few times. One more time. Now, here's the next bit. If you do it faster, it sounds like this. Okay. It's a really, really great line. Hammer-ons and pull-offs here, okay? And it's all 2nd fret and all open strings from the A string to the B string. So if I play this really slowly, have a look, then we'll talk about actually what notes we are doing here. So. Open E string. Okay, I'm gonna do that again a few times. And I'm exaggerating this hammer-on here. I do it a lot closer. I just want you to see that it's a hammer-on, okay? So, in actuality, I'm doing it a lot closer. You wanna hover over those strings, folks. You never wanna flail your fingers a lot when you're playing guitar. Okay, so I'm gonna do that again. Just like that, one more time. Then we're gonna go ahead and do the notes. Okay, A, hammer on to B. A to B, D to E, G to A, now B, C, sharp. And then open E. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna do it again nice and slow. I'm gonna do it a little bit quicker. A few more times slower, then we'll pick up the pace. A little faster. Okay, so there we go. Let's do these first two bits and we'll put them together. A little faster. One more time. Yay, there you go. So that's that first part of that, first part of the solo. All right, and again, I'm seeing all your questions. Don't worry, we're gonna get to those right after the end of this. So keep writing those questions. Again, thank you all so much for tuning in. This has been a fun one. All right, so now the next bit. Let's just do that. Open B string to open E string. So far, so good. 3rd fret B string, which is your D. Go ahead and use that 2nd finger. And then release B string. Okay? There you go. Okay? So that's what's happening there. All right, folks? So let's break down. Let's go ahead now and add this. So this would be the 3rd part of the solo. Here we go. All right. Now this next little bit. There's some bending happening here. Bending up on that 2nd fret of the G string, A. Then bring it down. Like that. Then release G string. Just like that. And see, I'm kind of muting it a little bit. I'm muting it with this right hand. Like that. Then with my 2nd finger hitting the 2nd fret of the D string, which we know by now is E. Okay? Oh, that was actually kind of a cool mistake. I like that. Again. Okay, here we go. Let's put these 4 parts together. Now the bend. Let's do that again. Okay, there we go. Now, the next part is going to be an open D string to open A. Okay, so here we go. From the bend. From the bend, open D string, 2nd fret A string, B as in boy, to A. Open A. To C, 3rd fret A string, to A again, open. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that again. From the bend. Okay, let's do that one more time. We'll get to the next part. Okay, let's go ahead and do that whole thing, okay? Do my little chair stretch, folks. Here we go. Let's get to the next bit. It goes like this. Let's do this kind of part here first. The way that I like to look at this, it's almost like a weaving move. I'll explain what I mean. Lots of pull-offs and hammer-ons here. Hear them? Pull off. There's your hammer-on. Okay? Here's how we do it. First finger, second fret D string, it's E. I think that's the note we have played the most through this whole thing. So if you guys don't know where E is on the D string, now you know. If there's one thing you took from this, it's that. Okay, so second fret, D string, pull it off to D. E to D. Then go to that second fret of the A string, B as in boy. Okay, now first finger, put it on the second fret of the G string. There's your A. Same move, hammer on or pull off to hammer on the string above it. Now, after we do that move from A to G, now we go to E, second fret, D string. So let's break that down nice and slow, those two moves on those three strings. Again. One more time. One more. That's a cool line in and of itself. We're going to do this one more time now with the B string, C sharp to B, then to A, second fret G string. Then to the open E string at the bottom. I'm going to do this nice and slow. Now you know all the notes that are here. Let's do it together, nice and slow. Slow and steady wins the race here, folks. I am not looking for speed. I'm looking for good technique. Let's do this 2 more times. Okay, so there we go. Loving it, okay? So we've got that. Here's where I change things a little bit. What I do, I hybrid pick. My pick is on the G string, sliding from the second fret with my second finger, so the A to the B. Now, with my middle finger here, this is where the hybrid picking comes in, I'm plucking upwards on that E string, so I'm getting this really cool, like that. I'll do that one more time. Like that, okay? I believe Robbie does it just the one note, but I add the second octave. I happen to like that. If you guys want to play it regular, totally cool. Just letting you guys know my approach and what I do with this. Okay, so sliding from that second fret of the G string to the fourth fret, that A to B, allowing the E string underneath to ring as well. Here we go. Now you're going to do it again, but backwards, B to A. And then let that G ring open, like that. G and E together, okay? It's cool and bluesy, and man, when you have a tremolo on here, it sounds really, really cool. So, like that, okay? Next note, second fret D string, you know what note it is, okay? Now do that riff again. But this time slide back to B, allowing that E string to ring as well together, hybrid picking. Okay, let's do that again. Like, how cool is that? Doesn't that sound awesome? I just love the sound of those notes together. Let's do that again. Here we go again. Now we're gonna slide backwards from this B to the A, keeping the hybrid pick technique happening with that E being plucked by your second finger. Okay, so let's see. See how I went back to B, to A, and pulled off with my second finger G note. Okay? From there, D chord. Hit the D note first, and then the chord. And then C, arpeggiate it. Pick some notes out, and then E minor. Or just play the regular. Okay? Let's do this whole solo again, nice and slow. I know we are almost at an hour. This has been super fun. I'm gonna go through, this lesson's gonna be a little over an hour today. I'm gonna go through a few other bits to help you improvise over this tune and just things to think about when you're playing it. Cause man, this is such a fun song to play live, folks. This is such a fun song to play live. Here we go. Here's the solo. I'm gonna do it a little bit slower and then I'll play it a little faster. So here we go. E minor. You can do that C sharp and D underneath it. Okay, let's do that again, a little faster. Let's do that one more time, okay? Here we go. And again, I'm seeing all your questions, don't worry, I'm gonna get to as many as I can. Keep them coming, thanks for tuning in, folks. Okay, so that's the guitar solo there. Super, super fun song. Take your time with this. Again, well-intentioned notes here. Less is more. Like it's one of my favorite guitar solos ever. I think it's great. So we've got, then there's another verse after this. We know how to play that already. We've got that under our belt. Great. So is this. So that part, we got. You got it. You're good. So now the iconic keyboard, like rock out awesomeness, comes after this. So what's the guitar doing there? Now you can see that I'm articulating this in two different ways. You can choose to do these as whole notes, or add a little bit more body, a little bit more rhythmic interest. So what am I doing? What are those chords? Where do you put your fingers? Okay, first finger, put it across the 12th fret of the G, B, and E. There's your E minor. Okay, so that's your 1 flat 3 5 E minor. There it is. So now what you're going to do is you're going to bring that up a whole step. F sharp minor, 14th fret. Bring this up a half step. We're going to play a G major here. So here's how you can get there. And this is how a quick little way you can tell the difference between major and minor. Okay, at least in this grip, this inversion of this. Okay, so we've got E minor. We've got F sharp minor on the 14th fret, G, B, and E string. Keep that shape for a moment, bring it up a half step up to the 15th fret. Now, this would be a G minor. We don't want to play that because we want a G major. Okay? How do we make that G minor into a G major? Well, this grip here is a 1 flat 3 5. That 1 flat 3 5 is what makes a minor chord. If we want to make it a major, what we do is we bring that third, that flat 3, and we make it major, like that. Okay, so I'm going to do that again nice and slowly so you can see this. 14th, 15th, and 16th fret, so your second finger should be on the 16th fret of that G string. That's your B, that's your third, okay? It's your F sharp minor. Yes, let's do that again. Here it is with a pick. A little more rhythmic interest, go ahead. So even there, like I kind of slid. I went from the 11th fret, like that. Again, give yourself a little room to improvise. Tasteful improvising. Tasteful. Tasteful is the key here. Be tasty about it. So that's what's happening there. That's what's happening underneath that keyboard solo. So I'm going to leave this open to some questions. Again, this has been super, super fun, guys. I love teaching the song. So that's what's happening there. So that E minor to F sharp minor to G major. Okay? So now what we do here, we're going to see there's another guitar solo, but what's happening here is he's emulating what Jim is singing. Okay? Okay, so that's what's happening there. Let's talk about what we're doing here. Again, less is more here. Let's be tasty about it. So get your third finger at the 9th fret of the G string. If we do our quick little octave test, we'll realize that that's just another place where E lives, okay? We're gonna slide that up to the F sharp on the 11th fret of the G string. Going back to that 9th fret E to D on the 7th fret of the G string. Okay? And give it a little bit of vibrato. Again, that's vibe 2. If you want to play it straighter, totally cool, but notice how it sounds a little different. See what I mean? When you wiggle and slide into things, notice how it sounds a little more interesting. Builds that sustain of that F sharp. Now the next little line. We're gonna bend at that E, 9th fret. It's a whole step bend. Release it down to E, and then hitting D there, okay? He goes back and forth. He'll go up here. He does some little lines on the 2nd and 4th fret. Again, I want you to think improvisational here. We're in E minor, so if you feel inclined. Again, tasty lines. Like that kind of stuff can be kind of cool. Again, just giving you ideas improvisation-wise, what you can do. Octaves are another really cool thing you can do here. If you don't want to play these notes, or right? Do octaves of them. So octaves of E, F sharp, and G. Instead of playing it here. You could do this. So how do we do those octaves? First finger, 9th fret G string, pinky finger, 12th fret E. Notice how my 2nd and 3rd fingers, they're muting. So when I strum, okay, that is just muting these, so I'm only getting the E's there. All right, so something to think about there. So if E's here, and you know F sharp is a whole step up from that, cool. And G is a half step up from that. Again, it's endless. The only thing I say really is just be tasteful with your improvisation here. So towards the end, right, it starts to wind down a little bit. Harmonics. Harmonics are very fun. So that's what's happening here. So he goes to the 12th fret. We're in E minor. So it makes sense. E, B, and G, the 1 flat 3 5 of E minor already live here in this harmonic. You have that added D and A. Go to the 7th fret. It's the 5th. Okay, so it gives you lots of really, really cool options when you're ending the songs. All right, and I'm going to leave you guys with that. That's the tune. This has been so much fun teaching this. This is, again, one of my favorite songs to teach, one of my favorite songs to play live with my band. It's really, really great. So I hope you guys got a lot out of this today. I'm going to take these last few moments here to answer some of your questions. I see them cruising in. Thank you all so much for being so engaged and for hanging out. This has just been so much fun. And again, if you enjoyed this, please be sure to follow the social media channels of myself and the awesome folks at Fishman, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all of that good stuff. We are on there. Be sure to follow the folks at Fishman. There's some really, really great stuff that they're putting out there for us guitar players and instrumentalists to really, really enjoy and to allow us to find our voice as musicians. It's really, really great. And I'm just so, again, I know I say this all the time, but I'm just so honored to work with these guys. It has been a pleasure doing this riff rundown for you guys every week. You can follow me, Angela Petrilli Music, on Instagram and YouTube and Twitter and Facebook and all of that good stuff. Angela Petrilli Music. You type that in, you can go to my website, angelapetrillimusic.com. It's all there. You can find out all the good stuff and what I'm up to and all of that. But yeah, it is really, really great. And again, it is so much fun. So again, I know a bunch of you were asking what I was playing through today. Since it's the end of the lesson, let's go ahead and talk about that again. I've got the Fishman Fluence single coil Strat style pickups in here. I love them. Vintagey goodness. This is my American 1998, I believe, American Deluxe Fender Stratocaster. I love this guitar. It's like the first real electric I bought myself was this one, and I love it. It's been all over the place with me. I absolutely love this guitar. Going through for delay, I've got the Strymon El Capistan tape delay. For trem, I'm using the Analog Man Super Trem TR2 mod. I love it. It's my favorite tremolo pedal. I love that thing. It's great. It so captures the vibe that I look for in a tremolo pedal, and it's awesome. So I've got Analog Man Trem and the Strymon delay, playing through a Fender Blues Junior 3 tube amp. I love it, being mic'd up by an SM57, going into Logic to all of you. So again, this has been such a blast. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you enjoyed this, be sure to subscribe to our channels. Be sure to share this with friends of yours who would enjoy this too. Spread the love, man. Spread the love. It's good stuff. Again, thank you all so much for tuning in. This has been an absolute pleasure. You can check me out, angelapetrillimusic.com, for all the good stuff there. And yeah, this has been a blast. So wishing you all a very, very great weekend with lots of music and good vibes and all of that good stuff. I really, really hope you guys learned a lot from this lesson and can apply some of the stuff that we learned today to perhaps some of your solos and original tunes or whatever it may be. So wishing you all a lot of luck, and thank you all for all the really super kind messages, and I know that it's just, thank you so much. It's really, really cool. So thank you all again for tuning in, and be kind to each other. And that's all I got today, folks. This was such a blast. Go play a lot of music today. Be kind, and let's make the world a really good place. All right, everybody take care. I'll see you next week. We're going to do another electric lesson next week. This was way too much fun. We're going to do this again. This was great. Again,